So today you guys are watching a pre-recording, I guess it's a post-recording of the last episode of the Hand of Fate 2 series. And geez, I don't know why, this felt like the longest series ever. I think it's partially because there's like 20 plus episodes, and usually that's marked by each individual like level. Whereas other series, it's more of a slow go and continue progressing for about an hour, and there's no real like way to fall behind because it's usually just like linear and story based. Or this is just like sort of like a dungeon crawler type of thing. So that's why that's that. And before we get into anything else, I think mostly the easiest thing to do to beat this boss, apparently, spoiler alert if you guys haven't already understood, is to get as much different effects on your weapons that are battle related as possible, and then from there I think it's pretty much easy. Like, just go ahead with your dodges and whatnot, because I think it basically follows the same pattern as all other plays and bosses. There's nothing really crazy about this boss. So just do that. Other than that, I think you should probably, it's easy. Like that's basically it. You will have to do a lot of tumbling occasionally, and that's basically all you need to know. There's not much to it. The cool thing is also that you don't actually have to rely on using the Armor of Gluttony or any food or anything like that, because that's not existent in the last level. I don't really know necessarily the lore behind the last level. I don't know why, but it seems like the usurper is more than just like the king. So that's that. It's kind of interesting, I guess. The story just, to me, I don't think as understandable as I would like it to be. There seems like a lot of like, I don't know. Like, it is pretty self-contained, but to me it just doesn't seem too coherent. Maybe it's because I wasn't paying too much attention to it, because I was also streaming. But I mean, I understand, like, yeah, there's like the priests, the northerners, and then you got like the empire and the mages, and there's a lot of fighting between everyone. But other than that, it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of up there for me. I think I had to do a little more reading to like understand the story, but nonetheless, this was a pretty decent story. I did like the fact that this is, I think, not necessarily new, but the fact that the story all led up to this single occasion. Like, I think this happened before in a movie where like they'll have like the narrator talk about, oh, and blah blah blah, like in a third person, and then up until a certain single point, maybe like late in the movie, they'd be like, and this is me now or whatever, like a little transition to like basically how she was talking about in the introduction of the movie, or they're talking about the introduction of the movie, and basically they'll finally get to the point they are now. That's how it was, kind of. I think that was neat. I really did like that. That was definitely kind of cool. It does make it seem like it is part of a game until the very end, where it's like, oh, now it's not a game. Like it's all reality now. So that was cool. That was pretty neat. I think a majority of the fun for me from this game is the fact that it's a lot of like a dungeon crawler, and that there's a lot of variance, and that variance does spark a lot of like interesting things to do. And that's just with the adventure. Like I assume there's gonna be more of that type of stuff in the actual, like, I guess campaign and adventure are different things. Like that was in the campaign mode where you like had to fight all the different stages, right, that we played through. It's interesting to see how that would play through with something like endless mode or like the DLC, because do they just like I don't know, pretty cool. I also am curious with the DLC. Like, if it's good, maybe we get it, but like I'm curious about how much extra content is being added onto it, and like what exactly is added. Like, do they add more story? Do they go on a different story, different person? I'm curious about that. I think that would be cool. And also how much exactly like content it is. I feel like with this sort of content, you can, I don't know, maybe it's just me being a little, I don't know, arrogant or something, but I feel like this type of game, you can easily just tack on extra content without too much effort, because there's a lot of variance in the type of game that it already is. And so you just use old or existing modules, you tack it on to new content with some other like extra new things, and you still get like a lot of variance because it's just like exponential variance at that point because there's so many trees and paths you can go down. But that's neither here. Maybe it is. Yeah, this gameplay is pretty much self-explanatory. I think at this point I have to like look at the game because I'm not actually watching it. I'm just like strictly looking at it. I guess we can cut this off. It's gonna be long, but I guess we can make it like how much game is it if I do like this? Because there's a lot of time I'm just like simply looking at the armor, not really doing much. Okay, maybe it's like 7 minutes. Anyways, that's the gameplay. Yeah, the old man, kind of curious what he does in the end. I don't think they finished him off, and he's super mysterious. I really thought that like in the end we would be the one to be the usurper, and that way you can have like a new game plus where like you have to fight your old self, and like the beginning, your initial playthrough is just you fighting yourself again. It's just like a nice way to loop the game, which I did talk about a little bit in one of the earlier episodes, but it didn't really come to that, which I think could be cool. They did that sort of thing with what is it, Minecraft Dungeons, where basically it's just a nice way to loop the game to New Game Plus, but they didn't do it like that. So interesting, I guess. Interesting. Which, by the way, I could be playing Minecraft Dungeons. Maybe that's the next game I play. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You guys want to see Minecraft Dungeons? Something else? What are we playing? What are we doing? But see you guys later.